Oh, there we go. I did it. I got us live. Sweet. Well, hello everyone. My name is Ben. We're live. Hey, check this out. This is kind of cool. I did want to play you guys a song. Once again, I'm headed to bed. It's 9:30, so pumpkin time for me. I've been really loving going to bed early and getting up early. It's amazing. As long as I get that little nap in the afternoon. I know that some people don't like to nap. For me, I settle in for the nap right after lunch. I always make myself extra cacao tea in the morning. Then I wake up for my nap and I have a giant cup of cacao tea and then just go. Crush the day. And I want to show you guys something cool. So I did this podcast. I interviewed this gal named Jane Goldberg out of New York City. She's really like edgy, holistic, wellness. And we talked about radioactivity and the hormetic effect of radioactivity, meaning that just like, the radiation from the UVA and UVB rays in sunlight, or the radiative damage from excess heat, or the stressors of cold. Well, all of these are, of course, hormetic stressors, like some plants are. And we talked about radioactivity actually having some evidence behind it in terms of it actually decreasing the rate at which telomeres shorten and upregulating DNA and protein repair if administered in small doses, small sane doses. So there's this company that she works with called Nighthawk Minerals, and they actually harvest like radioactive stones that emit a mild amount of radioactivity as kind of a longevity play. So I'm experimenting now with radioactive hormesis. So I got this stone that's copper, malachite, turquoise, and silver. Okay, all four of those in the stone. And then they measure it with a Geiger counter, and it actually releases a small amount of uranium-based radiation. And I'm wearing it around my neck right now. Looks like that. So I just started wearing it. A third eye has not grown out of my head, and I can't say that I've measured my telomeres or anything like that, but I wanted to try it just to wear a little bit of radioactivity. So who knows? Maybe when I start flying again, which I actually am, I'm flying to Nashville next weekend. I'm going to get on an airplane for the first time since this quarantine to go to Nashville. I'm going to wear my radioactive stone between now and then, and maybe I'll feel better after the flight because I'm protected from some of the radioactivity in the x-ray machines in the airport and the flight. Who knows, right? But I find it intriguing. So there we go. I'm now blasting myself with uranium. Anyways, though, so the book is called, it's by Jane Goldberg. You can look for it on Amazon, and it's called Hormesis. Maybe if somebody finds it on Amazon, if you could search while we're doing this live, you could paste it in the chat box there. But it's a book about hormesis by Jane Goldberg, if you want to look it up. Super interesting. Radioactivity. Who knew? She gets into there's a chapter in there, get this, it's called The Health Effects of the Atomic Bomb. How's that? All right, so I'm going to play you a song now because I'm so grateful for all of you. And so I thought that as I go to bed tonight, I would play you a little song of gratitude that you probably know. My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. The morning rain clouds up my window, and I can't see it all. And even if I could, it would all be great. But your picture on my wall, it reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Drank too much last night, got bills to pay. My head just falls in pain. I missed the bus and there'll be hell today. I'm late for work again, and even if I'm there, they'll all reply that I might not last the day. And then you call me, and it's not so bad, it's not so bad. We all know how this part goes, right? And I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life. And oh, just to be with you is giving me the best day of my life. Push the door, I'm home at last, and I'm soaking. How's that part go? Nice. And I'm soaking through. Me a towel. And even I gotta remember how this song goes. Anyways, maybe we'll just go back to the chorus and finish with that. And I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life. And oh, just to be with you is giving me the best day of my life. There you go. There's half of a song for you. So radioactive hormesis. Gonna release that as a podcast. We did a podcast today on, if you didn't get a chance to hear it yet, what was the release this morning? It was with Joe Cohen of South Dakota about genetics. And then on Saturday, I've got a podcast coming out. This sounds really boring, but I think it's actually kind of interesting and crucial. Corporate wellness. Yeah, we can talk about the future and like what a future cutting edge corporate wellness setup would look like. So here's the deal. I'm going to reply to 3 questions. All right. So the first 3 questions that come through, I'm going to reply to the first 3 questions, and then I'm going to go hit the sack with my radioactive cross. All right. So 3 questions. Grounding your bed or daily ice baths, both beneficial. They are both beneficial. So my bed is grounded with something called, it's a mattress topper. It's called the anti-aging mattress. However, I found out via an EMF analysis that we fully recorded at my home 2 days ago that is going to come out as a podcast. If you're using a grounding sheet on your mattress, your body will act as a circuit that, because you're grounded, if the wall that's behind you as you're sleeping is not also grounded, which means, and this is super annoying, it means you have to get like that Faraday paint, or that it's basically like EMF blocking paint, and you have to paint the wall behind your bed if you're going to use a grounding sheet. It's kind of annoying, but that is honestly going to make sure that your body isn't basically an antenna while you're sleeping. And furthermore, regarding your question about cold, here's the cool thing. Cold water is naturally grounded, especially below ground pools, and also those above the ground like steel troughs that you get from the feed store that people take ice baths in. We tested that, and the phase angle inside it is really high. So when you get in one of those ice cold baths, it's like grounding on steroids. So that's pretty cool. All right, next question. What do I think about a 20-year-old healthy female attempting a 3-day water fast? So I'm reading a book right now, and it's this super old book about fasting. And I can actually, let me see if I can remember what it's called, because I just ordered it. And I don't have the internet right now. It's like called God and the Power of Fasting. And it goes into all these hormetic and autophagy benefits of fasting we all know about. But long story short is that Even if you have like 8% body fat, you literally have like 40 to 50,000 calories of storage energy that you can rely upon for a water fast. So yes, most people, I'll get in trouble with some folks for saying this, but even children can water fast without a whole lot of damage because you just burn a lot of your fat stores. And as long as you're going in with good micronutrient and well fed and not in like a low protein or a low fatty acid type of state, it's fine. Mentally difficult. And as Walter Longo has shown, you'll get a lot of benefits still from an alternate fast, meaning like 40% of the number of calories you normally consume. But no, for most people across the board, there's not a big issue with water fasting. Most of us we overanalyze fasting. We're afraid of it, but your body's pretty magical. It will tap into your fats and your micronutrients, release fatty acids, and you'll be fine. Okay. Let's see. One more question. My thoughts on bone broth. Too fatty. In my opinion, and this is the last question I'll reply to because I'm going to go to bed. Dude, the magic of bone broth is in the fat. I don't even skim the fat off the top. I stir it in like the little jello collagenous stuff on the top. The fat is amazingly nourishing. Now, if you're fasting with bone broth, yes, a clearer, more liquidy bone broth, just to get the minerals and the hydration, is better if you're trying to tap into your own fats while you're fasting. But if you're just drinking bone broth on a daily basis for the health benefits, drink it with all the fat and the collagen and everything else mixed into it. So what I do for lunch each day is I pour a giant cup of bone broth, and sometimes I'm lazy and I don't even heat it up. I just use the kettle and fire bone broth or whatever mason glass jar of bone broth that we happen to have in the fridge. And then I put a giant dollop, like a giant spoonful of either sauerkraut or kimchi, and I stir that into the bone broth along with the squeeze of a whole lemon, because the vitamin C in the lemon makes the bone broth collagen more bioavailable. And then the last thing I add are a bunch of spices: salt, cayenne pepper, turmeric, black pepper. So I put a fermented vegetable in, I put the vitamin C from the lemon in, and then I put a bunch of spices in, and I drink that with lunch every day. And it's an amazing way to experience bone broth. And if you're fasting, you could literally do that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner as something to kind of get you by during a fast. All right, you guys, I am going to go to bed, and I have a house guest coming tomorrow night, another one, for another secret podcast episode. So I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue right now about who the guest coming tomorrow to podcast is. That's your clue. And he's been on my podcast before. All right. Good night, you guys. I love you.